Throughout history, societies have often banned various items believed to induce evil or undesirable conduct. However, prohibition isn't the sole method employed to counter such issues. Alternatively, some have pursued an additive approach, crafting products intended to achieve similar outcomes. Remarkably, many enduringly popular items either originated or were marketed with such intentions, spanning board games and breakfast cereals to confections and soft drinks. Yet, their original moral motives frequently fade from memory over time. Here are 5 of the most unexpected creations designed to deter evil and undesirable behavior. Number 5. Chutes and Ladders, teaching morality to children. Milton Bradley, the renowned board game company, introduced chutes and ladders to the United States in 1943, but it's known as snakes and ladders in the UK. This distinction stems from the game's origins in India, where it served not only as a whimsical luck-based pursuit, but also as a tool for instilling moral principles in children. Each snake head on the board represented a vice for youngsters to steer clear of, such as bad company, false knowledge, and ego. The tales of the snakes conveyed the consequences of indulging in these vices, educating children about the repercussions. For those fortunate enough to evade vices and stay on the path of virtue, reaching the final square symbolized liberation. Despite its simplicity, the game held significant cultural significance in India, evident in its various names, including Gian Chowbar, translating to the game of knowledge. However, when the British brought the game back to their homeland in 1892, it underwent a transformation into snakes and ladders, shifting its emphasis from moral instruction to entertainment. Number 4. Monopoly, exposing capitalism's evils. It's doubtful that any money-minded family members would be as dismayed about Monopoly as its creator, Elizabeth Meiji, would be if she were alive to witness its evolution. In 1904, Meiji patented her landlord's game with 2 distinct sets of rules in mind. The first, dubbed the monopolist rules, incentivized players to selfishly amass properties and collect rent from others. Conversely, the prosperity rules encouraged taxation on property purchases, with the tax funds redistributed among players. Victory was achieved collectively when the player with the least initial wealth doubled their share. Meiji's intention was for players to engage with both rule sets, facilitating a comparative examination of 2 economic systems and their consequences. She aimed to expose the flaws inherent in the capitalist property ownership system, garnering popularity among left-leaning intellectuals. However, the Parker brothers, who acquired the rights from Charles Darrow, creator of a modified version of Meiji's game in 1932, eventually purchased the patent, discarded the prosperity rules, and rebranded the game as Monopoly. Number 3. Roller coasters, leading adults away from temptation. In the late 1800s, the American inventor Lamarcus Thompson surprised the world by conceiving the roller coaster. Prior to this innovation, Thompson's claim to fame was his invention of a sewing machine tailored for crafting seamless stockings. However, as a devout Christian, he grew troubled by the prevalence of brothels and saloons in his society. Instead of disregarding the public's desire for entertainment, he aimed to offer a wholesome alternative that still provided exhilarating fun. Thompson drew inspiration from a coal mining town in Pennsylvania, where residents eagerly paid $1 to ride the coal train, experiencing thrilling speeds of up to 60 miles per hour, 96.6 kilometers, as it descended a steep incline. Motivated by this concept, he divested from his hosiery business and invested the proceeds into designing and constructing his own thrilling track on Coney Island. Despite reaching a modest speed of only 6 miles per hour, 9.7 kilometers, Thompson's creation proved to be a massive success. It diverted attention away from Coney Island's less savory establishments while generating substantial profits for Thompson himself, thereby catalyzing the growth of the global amusement park industry. Number 2. Graham crackers, driving those dirty thoughts out of your mind. Graham crackers derive their name from their creator, Sylvester Graham, who crafted them as a fusion of his interests in dietetics and aiding individuals in controlling their sexual impulses. While the latter may appear peculiar, it's noteworthy that Graham was a Presbyterian minister. He espoused the belief that dietary choices could not only enhance physical well-being, but also foster spiritual health. For instance, by abstaining from spices, sugar, and artificial additives, individuals could purportedly divert their thoughts from sinful subjects such as sex. Graham formulated his eponymous crackers to provide people with a convenient snack that adhered to his stringent dietary principles, which also encompassed vegetarianism. Consequently, the original graham crackers lacked the sweetness and spices found in contemporary versions, boasting instead a bland yet slightly nutty flavor. Nevertheless, they gained traction, perhaps owing to Graham's fervent following. With his outspoken views on the intersection of food and spirituality, Graham amassed a legion of devoted adherents. Offering them a foodstuff purported to aid in spiritual salvation was an offer few could resist. Number 1. Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Keeping urges to self-pleasure at bay, graham crackers were not the only bland and aphrodisiac snack to come to market in the 19th century. Another religious inventor came up with his own highly successful alternative, and he called them cornflakes. That inventor was Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, a devout Seventh-day Adventist whose notable inventions up to that point had been a granola cereal and a yogurt enema. When it came to food and sex, he held similar opinions to Graham, if not even stronger. While he also thought that strongly flavored foods and meat increased sexual urges and that bland foods could quell them, he was so opposed to sex that he never even consummated his own marriage. He thought sex was physically and spiritually awful, but what he called self-pollution was even worse. According to Kellogg, masturbation could lead to epilepsy, palpitations, and several more health conditions. Cornflakes were one of several cereals he invented, which he thought would help people manage their desires, and they were also the last. After a large marketing campaign helped by his brother Will, they were on their way to becoming the breakfast staple that they are today.